know what a credit score is now, right? Yeah, you watch part one. You know that there are 3 different types of credit scores and it's based regionally. You know the definition of a credit score. You know the ranges from poor to good to great, right? You know the factors that affect your credit score, right? If you don't know either of those, go ahead and stop this video and watch the previous 2 videos, part 1 and part 2 of this series, and go get that info. But if you know those 2, can you honestly tell me that you know how to improve your credit score? Because if that answer is a no, good. Keep watching, because that's what we're going to talk about today in part 3. What's going on, beautiful people, and happy Monday. We made it through another week of the Rona. Look at us go. We survived another week. Lord knows it's been rough out here in these streets, but we're out here. We're trying to thrive. We're trying to do our best and put our best foot forward. So at Hustling and Healing, it's Monday, which means it's Mo Money Monday. It's Mo Money Monday, and today we're going to be talking about part 3 of credit score, which are the factors to increase that credit score, that end-all be-all number basically for a lot of people. But first and foremost, my name is Bree. Welcome to Hustling and Healing. For those of you tuning back in, welcome back. I love seeing you guys come back. But as I said, today's Mo Money Monday, and we're going to be talking about the factors. This is probably going to be a long video, so let's go ahead and jump on into it. Let me go ahead and unlock my phone so I can give you the right information. So, number 1, the first way to increase your credit score is pay your bills on time. And I mean on time. Early is on time. Do it, because when you pay your bills on time, as I said in previous videos, it shows that you're a responsible borrower. And what do lenders want? Responsible borrowers. So when you pay on time, you're giving yourself a good track record. So lenders will understand that you're serious about it. You're not joking around. You're going to give them their money back. So by paying your bills on time, that gives you a boost in that credit score. Next one, pay off your debts. Yes, even if it's in increments. So a lot of people say start with 50%. So if you can pay 50% off your debt, so say you owe $4,000. If you could pay $20,000 off of that, that's 50%. And then if you could move it up to 70% and then 90%, and then you pay it off at the 100% and you're done. But pay off your debts, because the more that you pay off your debts, the lower your utilization ratio goes and the more available credit that you have, and that increases your credit score. Because if you remember last week's video, that utilization rate comes in at 30%, and it's really, really important. So make sure you pay off that debt. So, number 3, keep your balances low on your credit cards and other forms of revolving credit. We talked about this again, utilization ratio. It's really, really, really important. So when you're able to keep that balance low, that means that your available credit is going to be higher, and that means that your utilization ratio will be smaller. Remember, our target number is 30% or lower. If you can keep it below that, you're going to consistently see a bump in that credit score, which is what we all want. Next one, only apply for or open new credit accounts as needed. So what does that mean? That means that if you don't really need the account right now, don't open it, because new credit always causes a dip in your credit. And yes, sometimes it's only temporary, but it's always a little rough. And I know you want new credit because before it helps with your, as I said in the previous video, it helps with your credit mix, which is always good, and that comes in at a percentage of your credit score. But whenever you're opening multiple lines, it takes a toll on your credit, basically. So keep the opening to a minimum. With that being said, if you have 2 lines of credit, like say you open 2 credit cards, that does give you a larger amount of credit, and that does help with your utilization ratio, because when you have more credit, that means that whatever you owed on your, like say you have one card that's maxed out, you owe $495 on a $500 limit. If you now have another $500 limit credit card, that puts you at $1,000 total of your total credit, and that helps you lower your utilization ratio. So take it with a grain of salt and know what you can and can't pay off. But general rule of thumb, don't open new lines unless you need to, so only open them as needed. Next one, don't close unused credit cards, especially if they're not charging you annual fees. And the reason why is because you don't want to cut off that line of credit. Like, yeah, you're not using the card, but it's still a line of credit and it's still a form of credit history for you. So when you close that, you're basically cutting off an arm of your credit essentially, and then it hurts you because then that all that credit history just becomes moot, excuse me. So you want to make sure you keep that open even if you're not using it. And I know typically people are like, close a credit card you're not using. No, actually, it helps your credit score. So just make sure they're not going to charge you annual fees, or if they're ridiculous annual fees, if they're not too bad, maybe just pay them off and keep that credit line open, because it'll help your credit score. Because like I said previously, multiple lines of credit helps. And that also helps with your utilization ratio, which, if you haven't figured out by now, is really, really important for your credit score. So let's see what the next one is. Don't create multiple inquiries. And this is something that also goes with the new accounts. When you create multiple inquiries, that basically means that you're getting your credit score pulled. So this happened to me recently when I bought my first car all by myself. When I bought my first car and I applied for a loan, because I had to apply for a loan to several different banks. Each of those banks were pulling my credit score, and I saw a temporary dip in my credit score because there were multiple banks inquiring about my credit score. So I think my credit score went down maybe 20 to 30 points, which like doesn't seem like a lot, but it's a lot, especially if you're teetering like two of the ranges. So you want to make sure that you don't create too many multiple inquiries. And that goes along with not applying for too many new accounts, new credit at once, because then that will pull that credit score down. Next one. Keep up with your credit reports and dispute inaccuracies. So it's really common for people to miss a charge or something like that on their credit report, and then later find out that it was reoccurring or something like that. They haven't been paying for it, and they've been late on their payments. And like we said, when you're on time on your payments, it helps. But if you're late on your payments, it pulls it down. So if you see inaccuracies, fraud is really important, because people with nowadays, you being able to just put your card on Google and then buy from your phone, from your tablet, from your laptop, from another person's stuff, it's a lot easier for you to lose track of the things that you're buying and purchasing, because you don't have to swipe your card every time. So make sure that you keep track of what you're buying and know what you did and did not purchase, because that's a good sign of detecting if there's fraud on your account. I personally have notifications for every time my card is used, whether it's present or not, what my balance is, and my daily summary of purchases across all of my accounts, just so I can make sure and keep up with my spending and be able to detect fraud. So if there are inaccuracies, and that might not have to do with fraud, it might just be a merchant charged you twice or something like that, make sure you keep track of them and you report it as needed. And so that's it for all of those tips to increase your credit score. And the question I'm going to end with is, well, how long will it take me to improve my credit score? And the answer, and I know you're going to hate me for this, is it depends on your situation, because it really truly does. But time will always be your friend in trying to increase your credit score, because the more time that you have, like I said, the duration of your payment history, if you're making consistent on-time payments over a long period of time, that's only ever going to help you. If you're able to pay off your debt over a long period of time, that's only ever going to help you. Not everything is a sprint. Credit score is a marathon, because it's following you for the rest of your life. So make sure that you give yourself the time to bounce back. And yeah, your credit score is going to dip. Everyone's does. But you can bring that back up by following all the tips and tricks in this entire series of videos, all 3 parts, to help with your credit score and help increase your credit score. Because for those of you who don't know, credit is king, especially in the US. Like you can't do a lot of big things without having a decent credit score. So use those tips on how to increase your credit score. Remember, be patient. Time is your friend. And it always depends on your situation. If you do have questions, I suggest going to just your bank or a local bank, because they do have classes and they do have resources. And you can honestly just sit down with someone and work out a plan to help you build your credit. So I just wanted to give you a couple tips and tricks on how to work that out. And this concludes our credit score series. Woo! The end of part 3. So we're gonna try something different with the self-promotion because I'm so tired of saying all that information. So it's gonna be playing while I'm talking now. So if you really like this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and hit that bell down there. If you're interested in all the other videos that I post 3 times a week. You know the deal by now: hustling, wellness, and healing. And that will be playing right now. And finally, if you want to follow me on social media, I am on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube, of course, which I'm sure you're watching this video on. Well, that's it for credit score, the series, the 3 parts, the trilogy, if you will. And that's it for Mo Money Monday. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Monday wherever you are. And I will see you on Wednesday for Wellness Wednesday. Have a good one. Bye.